Hello everybody, welcome. It's me, John, one of the hosts here on the Bronies UK YouTube channel, and I'm starting a whole different segment. Whether anyone else, a part of the group, my fellow co-hosts, wish to indulge in this, I've created a completely different playlist on the channel, so this is going to be separate programming to everything else. I understand this channel is mostly for ponies, My Little Pony. Regardless of that, we are all fans of more than just ponies. When it comes to animation, myself included, I am a huge fan of animation as a whole. So I decided to try and keep things going in a bit more of a positive momentum. Now and again, I want to try and bring to the channel and talk about different animated series and my thoughts on them and such and things of that nature. To kick things off, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts so far because there's only 6 episodes currently released here in the UK. I believe that's probably everywhere, but Amazon Prime have, as of January 19th, 2024, Hazbin Hotel, the Amazon Prime series, and I've watched all the first 6 episodes so far currently released. And so I want to just kind of give an initial first thoughts impression. It was created by Vivian Madrona, or Vivzipop, as she's also known as, on a YouTube channel. And it was an independent animated movie pilot that Vivian and a load of other friends that she knew within the artist side of things came together, and they created a fan animated movie pilot. Now, the dream was they wanted to make this either into a movie or an actual proper series. That's the whole intention of that pilot, was to basically try and pitch it. Try a very extravagant way of trying to pitch it to try and get it actually televised in some way. Now, they did the pilot for Hazbin Hotel, and there was a lot of rumour and speculation about what was going on. There wasn't very much. There was a long while. It was a long wait until we got the official announcement that it had been picked up for an actual series. Because the original pilot came out quite a bit ago, and it was only, I think, 2022, I believe, was when the rumours or speculation started to swell, and it was more like last year where it got properly confirmed, and of course it released this year. So Hazbin Hotel, the Amazon Prime series, I've been watching it, and so far I am really quite happy with it. There is a couple of things I'm going to say so far initially that I might do a video on this when the reason is actually properly come forward. The main reason is the entire main cast, or the entire cast, have been recast. It's new actors. All the previous actors, except for maybe a couple of exceptions in there that worked on the original pilot and also work on Hell of a Boss as well, have actually done some voice work for the Amazon Prime series for Hazbin Hotel. But the main nitty-gritty singing voices and also some of the voice actors that worked on the pilot for Vivzipop, for Hazbin Hotel, they've all been recast, and they didn't return to play their roles or sing for those roles, which is a little bit sad. It is very sad, unfortunate, but this is the world of voiceover, unfortunately, or entertainment as a whole. When it comes to voice acting, I've met a fair few voice actors over the years going to conventions, and that comes up a lot in questions about what's it like to get auditions, and they might get questions of how did you feel when you know, say like, I don't know, like a recast situation, a character that was started by one voice that you know, one voice that was cast in, and then for some apparent reason, some point down the line, they went with a different choice. So basically, a lot of them have what you know. A lot of them say that it is unfortunate. It's sad. You know, I put a lot of my effort into that, and I would love to have carried it on going forward. Of course, I would. That is genuinely kind of the response. Of course, any voice actor would love to keep on going, keep going, keep going, keep going with that same role. If it is a very popular role and people seem to be gravitated towards that role, then of course the actor would love to carry it going forward. But sometimes in entertainment, or majority of the time in entertainment, recasts do happen over time. I mean, we saw that with, I know, bringing in ponies again, with Make Your Mark, My Little Pony, you know, Make Your Mark. They recast the cast from the movie to the series. Now, of course, the reason for that recast change for Make Your Mark, from the movie to the series, they went with a much more expensive cast list. They went with a lot of actual pretty well-known on-screen actors and some very high-profile voice actors within the when they did the movie. So when they did the series, they probably didn't have the money to keep that cast. Hence why they recast for, you know, cheaper actors, basically. But that was the reason for that. But when it comes to Hazbin Hotel, a lot of them were non-union, and a lot of them were kind of up-and-coming talent, and they're incredibly talented. That were a part of the original pilot for Hazbin Hotel. Very, very, very talented. Some of them were well seasoned. Some of them have done English dub for anime series and stuff, and done a lot of independent animations and all sorts of different things, and also film as well. You know, and singing. You know, actual musicians as well. So they were very, very talented individuals, but they were still kind of up and coming talent. And it is unfortunate when they worked so hard as a team, as a group of friends and artists and actors and musicians and singers and such. They worked together very, very hard. And to be honest, I really do love the pilot. I thought that pilot for an independent animated series, or independent animated movie, it was incredibly well done. Yes, it had some problems. It wasn't perfect, but it had a lot of promise. It really did have a lot of promise. And so unfortunately, coming into the Amazon Prime series, the cast was completely recast. Now, I have tried to find a reason for it, but nothing official has actually been released as of yet, as I can find. I can't find anything for a reason. Now, this series was actually animated through A24, I believe it is, A24 Animation Studio. And I believe the reason for it is maybe down to a deal, that some sort of other contract. It was more like a contractual thing. It's looking like it could have been more of a contractual thing with A24 when they, you know, when they actually, you know, considered the series and such, and the deal and everything that was struck. So it's more like a deal thing, and yeah, so kind of that's looking like a possibility of what it could have been the reason. But anyway, so it's very unfortunate. However, I think the new cast are doing a good job. The new cast for the Amazon Prime series, even though I have I love the original voice acting talent for the pilot. I think they really did embody those characters very, very well. However, you can tell there's a big difference with a lot of them. Some of them sound pretty much the same. There's a couple of characters in there, voice actors of the characters. There's an ever so slight difference, but there's practically a very, very good impression, if you can call it that. It's more like a good impression. There is a couple of characters in there, like Angel Dust, for instance. Angel Dust, the new actor, even though I like his approach, but he does not sound like the pilot Angel Dust. There's a there's a big difference with the pitch. Um, it sounds a little bit more deeper in the new Amazon series compared to the pilot, and you can obviously it's a different actor. He's trying to emulate the original voice actor, but obviously it's kind of his own spin on it as well. And also Alistair, a different actor for him in the Hazbin series. Even though he sounds quite similar, but they use a lot of they do use some sort of technique on the voice because he's a radio demon, and they kind of thingy out his voice a little bit. So he does sound a little bit similar because of the changes they've done to the voice. In like pre-production or post-production or whatever after recording and that. But anyway, so my initial thoughts for Hazbin Hotel, the animated series, on the first 6 episodes, I think it's a good series. It has some issues as well. Like I said, the whole recast thing, that will cause some issues with some fans of the series. However, I am very happy to see this series actually happen, because that was the dream. But they hoped to have carried it going with the same cast and same people behind the scenes, creative people and such. But it seems that unfortunately, when the deal was struck, or part of the deal process with A24. Unfortunately, it never happened, and unfortunately, they had to recast the entirety of the cast, except for a couple of exceptions, retaining names and such. But I'm very happy for Vivian Madrano. I'm very happy for her because it was her baby, it was her creation, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy that she eventually did get that series based upon that pilot, even though they had to make some changes to the animation style. Character designs have changed a little bit as well, and also they had to change like character designs and such, and they had to completely recast the cast. That is that is a bit unfair and sad, but it's the world of the entertainment industry, I'm afraid. But there we go. But I am very interested in it. I love the songs. There's some brilliant singers in there, even though it's completely different cast. But the singing and most of the songs are really meaningful. They're very meaningful. They do their job. They deliver a message, or they really help to enforce what's going on within the story. They are proper story-driven songs, and they do a really, really great job at emphasizing the story, what's going on with a certain character or characters. They really do a good job of emphasizing all that, and I really love the songs. There's some bloody great ones in there. I mean, obviously, it was kind of like a musical kind of thing as well, because the pilot also had songs in there as well. But yeah, I think the voice acting, even though it's a different cast, I think the voice acting is pretty good. Even though you can tell the difference between actors, you can tell the difference. But I think they do embody, and they do their take on those characters, I think, is pretty close as you can get. But yeah, I think the animation's really nice as well. Very, very vibrant and bright, and it's not too different to the pilot. There is some changes to all the characters as they've got completely redesigned, but they are still very similar. You know, they're not that much different, but there is some differences there. But I think the animation looks beautiful. Very, very smooth transitioning, very, very beautiful, vibrant animation. The story seems pretty interesting. It's very interesting to see what the story, where it's basically kind of, you know, well, I'm not actually going to go too far into the story just in case some people haven't seen it, because I don't want to spoil it for people. But I will do a full-on thoughts, much more in-depth thoughts, once it's finished and all the episodes are out. But for so far, for episode 1 to 6, I'm actually very, very, very impressed with it. Regardless of the issues that people will talk about, but I think the pacing, I think the storytelling, the music, the songs, it feels like Hazbin Hotel. It feels like Hazbin Hotel. You can see the actors playing their characters. They are having a good time being those characters, voicing those characters. The energy feels that there's a very similar energy to it. And when you're watching it, you can share. There's a very similar enthusiasm and fun and happiness and the sense of humour there. You can see that the Amazon series shares a very similar kind of feeling to the pilot. With that shared teamwork kind of feel. It really does feel like that still, even though it's not really like that. But they seem to emulate that very well. At least that's the feeling I get when I watched the pilot and watched the series. That's the feeling I get. Everyone's different. Everyone will have different opinions. But there we are. I don't know what more I can really say without going into the full plot and everything else. But I don't really want to do that. It's just my initial thoughts on the first 6 episodes. I'm very intrigued with it. I'm definitely going to carry on watching it. I'm going to watch all the episodes, and once I have, I will make an initial video here on the channel. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a change of pace. It's not Ponies. It's not MLP. But to be honest, it was through MLP that I actually come to know Vivziepop, because she's also a fan of Friendship is Magic. Friendship is Magic was a big inspiration, as well as other series and musical theatre and all this, that and the other. That was a massive big influence on her, hence why she put so much emphasis. She emphasised all what she loves into Hazbin Hotel, and also Helluvaboss as well. So it's basically kind of, for me, is that, she is part of the fan base. She's a fan of MLP, Friendship is Magic. I don't know about Make Your Map, but she's a big fan of Friendship is Magic because of the musical side of it and the art. So she's part of it. So basically, kind of talking about Hazbin Hotel and talking about MLP, they're practically, obviously they are very different series, and one of them's much more mature and one of them's more meant for family viewing, and the other one is more meant for family viewing rather. So, but that's the other difference. But the fact is that, the inspiration behind the series comes from the My Little Pony fan base, basically, as well as other things. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment below. Let me know what you think about the Hazbin Hotel Amazon Prime series, so the series on Amazon Prime, the new one, actual thing. So let me know what you think about it, and also, if there's anything that you don't like about it or whatever, what your thoughts are on the recast, all that kind of jazz. So let me know, and I'll be back with another video talking about Hazbin Hotel once all the series is finished. When it's all finished, I will come and do a proper full-on in-depth thoughts. But thank you, and more videos of this nature will be coming as well. I'm not just going to talk about Hazbin Hotel, but I will, I want to try and kind of bring you guys more than just, because there's not very much to talk about in the realms of ponies, unless it's something like, fan fiction, or, there's not very much that we can really talk about. So I don't want any dead air. I want to try and relinquish that dead air, no upload thing, and try and kind of like bridge it a little bit with other things and talk about other animated series as well, because animation, I love animation as a whole. and I think this is a great opportunity to express those thoughts on other things as well as keeping it and talking about ponies and everything. But anyway, thank you. Peace. Take care of yourselves, and I'll be back very soon.